Hail now and well met, adventurers. Gather round, and let me tell you of the days of daring journeys and dark peril. Approach the table as we explore the adventurer's path. Hey adventurers, Shep here. Just a couple of updates as we kick off our session this time. First, as I am recording this, I just got the notification that the Downtime product is available on DriveThru RPG, so be sure to go and take a look at that. If you do, it is pay what you want, so you're free to take it for free. The only thing I ask is you come by and give it a nice rating and review just to help get the word out. I'm so excited because as I am recording this, we already have over 700 downloads for the Sundered Lands product, so very excited. And I just wanted to pause and say thanks for all the support. Not only is the channel growing, but obviously all the products are going and people are enjoying those, hopefully. So thanks so much for checking it out and just giving it a try. The other thing, just a little heads up, if you will, some RPG reviews are going to be coming up. I'm reviewing Pendragon, reviewing Terra Invictus for Shadowdark, and I'm reviewing Ironsworn. So 3 simple reviews coming up. Hope you enjoy those soon. That's all the updates for this time. Let's go to the recap. Okay, in our last session, we finished up removing the necromancer. We had the ritual and the pyre, which destroyed his remains and those of the reanimated. We began our travel. We were hoping for a fairly easy journey as we were going to go into 1626, that next hex over. We were going to travel into there. Had a planned encounter set up, but we ran into an important random encounter with a new creature, the Black Marrow. So we faced that. It's a pretty good fight there. Then we moved on, had an encounter with a horn that was blasting off in the distance, and we ran into a figure that called itself the Leper King and had his minions there. And there was a battle there in a ruin in this kind of bowl valley, and our heroes were able to get in there and defeat him. And as we finished up that battle, that's where we stopped last time, and that's where we're going to pick up. We found some good treasure. Let me just check the campaign journal here. Here we go. In our treasure hoard section, we had already picked up an Electrum Ewer with semi-precious stones. So we had that previously, but we also picked up the Platinum Pendant with a teardrop. And so that was 85. So that's some pretty good XP there. And then we had found under the Black Marrow the gold torque with the wolf head on it and rubies in the eyes, 120. That was our best haul that we've had yet. So we've got those items as we're going to be heading into town, hopefully here soon. So with all of that, our plan is to kind of wrap up this scene. As we ended the time, we were going to again have a pyre, clean this place up, and then our group was going to be traveling on, hopefully making it over to the town of Halako today to give that a check. So that's the recap. And now let's get back to the table. All right, everybody, here we are ready to go. Starting off our session for this time. We are currently in 1626. We're here in the Hex among the hills. We've just finished the encounter with the horn. The group is finishing up the pyres. So they're trying to be real careful. I mean, these were diseased figures, just overcome with the corruption of the mists. And so because of that, Korus has specifically asked that we destroy this horn and put all of these figures on a pyre. And so we had found a heavy cloak. We are not taking that. We had gotten a spear, not taking that. All that's going to end up on the pyre as well. So we're going to be real careful how we handle things. Want to make sure we don't get ourselves exposed. And so they're going to be dragging these things over into the middle of the ruined space. It's going to take a little while. We still have some travel to go. We had said it would take 6 hours, so there was going to be 3 random encounters. So we have 1 more to go before we exit the Hex anyway. And we're going to assume this takes a little while to do. Just like when we got rid of the Necromancer, Korus really demanding about making sure we just purge all the darkness from this place. So with that, we're going to have a bonus opportunity for a random encounter. So we're going to go ahead and check that right now. 5. So they're able to do their work, finish those things up, and then they're going to travel out of the encounter. One thing I forgot to do for today, let's just check the weather. Weather's always important in the game here. So I'm going to bring up my trusty reference table. Weather roll of 8, heavy overcast. So that means with a heavy overcast, there's a higher potential that the mists will be active, especially in dark places like heavy forest, or in this location, as it says, the mists linger in some of the valleys. So we may have a chance for that. And what I like to do when it says the mists rise, the mists aren't necessarily filling the entire hex. They're in these specific regions and spaces where the ley lines move. So I like to just give a bonus random encounter for those. So we'll give a chance to see if that comes up. 6. So if the silent men are moving in the valleys, we already said our group is taking kind of a long winding path to avoid those spaces there. And we'll just check to see if we end up running into this encounter. We do not. We roll a 1, so we don't come anywhere near that encounter. But as we travel, we now have our last opportunity for a random encounter to exit the hex as we push through. And wouldn't you know it, that's our luck. Same as always, adventurer's luck working for us right here. So we get one more encounter. Let's see what ends up happening on this. 3. So what we end up with is a crazed woman who is searching for her husband. And so we'll assume that this is right kind of, if you will, on the border of the hex. We're heading in towards the town of Halako, and there is this crazed woman who comes maniacally moving through the hills, crying out for her husband. The question is, where is she? And what are we going to do about it? Let's see how far she is. We'll check our encounter. 4. So by the time we round the hill and come up and over, she's within near, so she's pretty close to us, and we can see her eyes. The question will be, what is her disposition toward us? An 8. So suspicious. She's not sure. We're 3 armed individuals, and so she's not sure if we're the people or not. And so Naso's the knight. He'll come up just quietly. Lady, what is it that troubles you? I see by your face something weighs heavy on you. We'll make a charisma check, see if he can win her over. Absolutely. She sees the benevolence and the compassion in his face. And as she does, she begs him, "Oh, fair knight, help me find my husband. He is lost. I have no idea where he has gone." He begins to talk with her and ask, where is it that he has been lost? Who is your husband? She shares that her husband was a merchant, a merchant who was traveling. He was making a trip and heading out to the city, but he hasn't returned home. And she's not sure what's happened to him. She was following along the road, but no one saw sign or sight of him. And she says she is desperate to find him. She doesn't know how she's going to make her way in the world without her husband. And so Naso asks about the man's name, and we're going to need a name for our merchant here. So I'm going to go to our handy dandy random names for the region book. That's one of the cool things. I took a little bit of time to make some names that were fitting for each one of the regions, since they're different nations, if you will. They should each have their own kind of naming conventions and stuff. So we're going to go to our little note page here. Okay, note page, and we're going to have his first name. His first name is 8, Zorab. Zorab, and last name as a 12. Krumina. Zorab Krumina. So, with that, she says her husband's name. Naso tries to reassure her. Madam, I promise we will do everything we can to find him, but it is getting late in the day and the mists are already forming. We must get you back to the town. Come with me, madam. Oh, yeah. She feels reassured for the first time. She feels like someone is actually listening to her, willing to take her seriously and not just brush her off and go about their own business. And so the three of them are able to walk with her and escort her back. And as they together are heading in towards this region. Now, the question is, are we going to make Halako or are we going to end up north of there? So let's make our navigation check. We're +1. I'm going to make it, we're +2. We're going to get an extra +1 for the woman being with us. Can't give us full advantage, even though she's from town. She's been wandering and meandering, so she's got to figure out by general direction. But we'll be +2 to the roll here. Oh, easy. Didn't need any of it. Rolled a 15, so we're good there. We're going to come right into Halako. Now, Halako is a town, so it's not a city, not a major location. It's a city. And remember, each one of the towns and cities here is run by its own warlord, very balkanized, a lot of infighting, territorialism and stuff. And so we have its own standing town, and there's only 814 regular residents, but 160 soldiers in the area and 60 standing guards, both of these on top of that number. It's an isolated town. It serves as a stronghold of Marija Petrovic, known as the Widow. She is the warlord that controls this town, and I have a picture of her just for fun's sake. There's the Widow right there. And so the Widow is the one who oversees the town. We're not going to go into any encounters right now or rumors. What I want to do now is go into downtime. The guys are going to come into town. They're going to escort the woman back to her home with the promise that they're going to come back and find her. And so for our campaign notes, well, we're going to need her name too. Well, we know her husband's name. Her name, 16, is Renata. Renata. So there's a good adventure hook for us. And Naso's probably on the hook for this one, so we may have to figure this one out and see what we can do about that. Maybe some interesting story play with some other ideas that I've got coming up, but we'll see about that. So here we are here in town. We're going to secure an inn, and because of that, we're going to go to the old Shadowdark main book, and we're going to see about a place to stay. And so we are going to go to the Royal. That's a good start for us. 9, the Royal Wheel. The Royal Wheel Tavern. The Royal Wheel. And it is known for, let me see if I can find anything random that's interesting. It says it's known for wizard patrons. That could be interesting. Wizard patrons. And so in this region, in Calavar, wizardry is not outlawed. It is exploited, actually. People use it for their own gains, warlords, where they can use those things. And so we're going to say that this is a standard level establishment that has 3 drinks, and food is 1 pour, 2 standard. So we're going to look at our 1 pour food. I put away the D12, so we'll just use 2D6s here. And so we get a 5 buttered ostrich. So we get buttered ostrich, and buttered ostrich costs you 3 silver. We also have pour food of 9, roasted pigeon. Doesn't sound bad, all things considered. And you've got potential for eel on the menu. My opinion, pigeon ain't that bad at that point. 3 copper for that, so our boys may be eating pigeon today. And 1 more standard food, only a 3. Raw flail fish. Ugh. Can't say I know what that is, but doesn't sound great. Maybe the guys actually like flail fish. Who knows? It is 1 silver piece. And drinks wise, let's see. Autumn mead, love that. Autumn mead, 3 silver pieces. Floral doubles the effects of the next drink. What if I just drink lots and lots and lots of autumn mead? And then another beverage is a 6 house ale. First mug is free. Okay, so we're going to have our crew go with 3 autumn mead. So that's going to be 9 silver pieces. We're going to have an entire round of roast pigeon, and even all the roast pigeon we can stomach, still less than 1 silver piece, but we'll round that up right there. And then we'll splurge on a buttered ostrich, just split for 3 silver piece. And so that'll be that. And then we'll get our room space and another there. So that brings us into town. We've got our room secure. We've got all the food and provisions. And so now what I want to do is step into downtime. One thing that we want to do is get rid of some of the treasure that we found. And so we're going to send Korus out on that assignment the next day. And so he's going to make a charisma check, see what we can find there. Not great. That's an 8. And so the first thing he's going to try and do is get rid of the ewer and sell that off, precious stones and things. And if I remember right, in our campaign book here in the treasure hoard, so it's worth 35. So we're not going to get the full value that we want. So we're not going to get 50%, but can we at least get 50% would be 18. Can we at least get 15 gold for it? Nope. We're going to say they give him 12 gold. Sell that for 12 gold pieces. Now, the next are going to be jewelry. So he's going to try a jeweler next to see what he can do to sell these off. There we go. So we're going to get the full half value for both of those. So let's see. Half of that is 43. We'll round up. 43 gold pieces. And this one, sold for 60 gold pieces. Grand total looks like 115 is coming our way. So, wow, meals on us. 115 gold pieces. That's a nice add-in to the old treasury between the 3 individuals. Almost 40 gold apiece as an add-in. So with that being the case, now we're going to move into the rest of the downtime activity, what they want to do with this. And so when it comes to downtime, I'm going to be using the brand new product, as I mentioned, the update that should be out. I don't even have a printed copy of it myself yet, just on PDF. So I'm going to be referencing on the PDF. But in downtime, there are 9 basic kinds of activities that we can do. So we can use arcane studies. None of our guys are really arcane users, so that one's not going to be applicable to us. Carousing, so that's drinking, having a good time. Festivals, these are the kinds of things that are the celebrations of the town that the individuals can participate in. And so a little bit different from carousing, you're dealing with merchants and events and games, things like that. So that's just dependent on if the town is having one. Gambling activities, learning new languages, new skills, things like that. Martial training, skullduggery, theft, con games, things like that. Spiritual focuses, and victory celebrations. The victory celebrations are usually high dollar versions of carousing. The group has lots of resources and they're spending those to really whoop it up and celebrate all that they've achieved. So those are the broad categories, and each one of these categories has their own table and everything else. So we're going to take a look at this to see what it is we can do. I know the thing that we really want to do is we want to look at a spiritual focus for Korus. So one of the things that he can do atonement, and we've seen that in the past where he has to do an atonement for the critical failure that he gets on a spell. Don't have any of those right now. Another activity is spell mastery. It gains him advantage to casting a specific spell. It's a high wisdom check of DC 15, but if you fail, you gain progress in that. Spell expertise, which gives him +1 to casting a specific spell. He could learn a new spell, so it's a time spent in prayer to really receive a new spell, since people who cast priestly spells don't normally have that. Healer, which actually adds a D6 to the cure wounds spell, so that could make his curing far more effective. Aberration Bane, which actually allows his turn undead to now impact aberrations as well. So since this world is so specific about mist creatures and things like that, so the denizens of the mist, you actually know how to rebuke and remove them. He could pray for a boon or do a remove curse. I think for him, what he's going to do is he is going to go for spell mastery. He really needs to work on that. There's so many of the spells that we really just struggle with. So he's going to work on spell mastery for his cure wound spell. So it's a wisdom check, even though he's a charisma spellcaster. It is a wisdom. It's understanding the movement and the ways of his deity. So it's still a wisdom check. His wisdom is a +1. It's a DC 15. So we got to get a 14 on the dice here. See if we can get that. No, that is a failure. So with that though, anytime we fail, we make progress towards something. So we'll make a quick note, and that is going to be for him, spell mastery, progress. Okay, and now the other two martial classes. So these guys most likely are going to be working on martial training. So we're just going to look at that. They could either learn a new weapon. Both of them are pretty happy with their weapon. Both of them could learn new armor or shields. They already have the full gambit there. They could go with accuracy, which allows them to pick up +1 to hit with a specific weapon. Penetrating blow, +1 damage with a specific weapon. Heavy hitter, which increases the die of their weapon. So your D6 goes to a D8, D8 to a D10. Weapon expert, giving you +1 to hit and damage. Or armor comfort, which gives you +1 to AC with a specific type of weapon. A lot of great choices here. You know what? Damage is really important for us. So we're going to go with penetrating blow for both of these. And so we're going to start. It is a strength-based check. So for Ratha, strength +3. 17. He actually makes it. So Ratha gains penetrating blow. And that only applies to one weapon. And so in his case, it's going to apply to his longsword. That's going to be a huge help in some of the attacks he makes. All right, Naso. Naso's going to come up, and what is his? Also a +3. Strength is his big stat. Wow. Natural 20. And so Naso is going to do the same thing with his bastard sword. So Penetrating with the Bastard Sword. +1 damage. Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm going to make those notes there. What an incredible downtime. It would have been great if Korus would have gotten his. That probably wouldn't have been our biggest play to impact that. And so that's going to pick up our downtime. And one of the things I was thinking about in the space while we're here is this opportunity. It's a DC 9 opportunity, but again, flipping the old hat around, putting on the Game Master hat and just taking a look at it. This is something I think I want to give the characters to pick up as their new engagement here. The Widow is hiring mercenaries to drive out bandits that attack traders that are just isolating her town. Her town, as you can see here, is surrounded on 3 sides, well, by hexes, on 5 sides. So the only way in and out of the town safely and easily is through this mountain pass up to the north to Strayana, where we started. And so that's the main path right there. And so there's a lot of bandits and things that are attacking as they travel west and to the north. And so she's hiring people. And since she's a warlord, how is she doing it? Flat fee? No, she's ruthless and cunning. So she is paying for the left ears of bandits that are brought back. Oh, you don't cheat and bring back 2 ears off of one guy, I guess. So she's going to do that. And what will she pay? She needs bold action. How about 5 gold pieces per? Economy's a little weird, but that should do. So we'll assume that. And so the way it is going to roll out is they've had their downtime day and they've been training and doing things. Korus has been in prayer and meditation, studying and just practicing the cure wounds and trying to understand how he can bring that power to bear. He feels like he's gaining ground, but not there yet, obviously. The others, just working on their form in their sword swing. And with that, the group will be traveling around the market the next day. And as they travel around the market, there is a great manor in the center of the town, and on the steps comes this figure, the Widow. And as the Widow is there, she holds her hand up, trumpets blare, and everyone within the market pauses and turns towards the space. They're used to the fact that if those trumpets blare, everyone stops to pay attention to the Widow's dictates. The strong voice from this figure bellows out across the square, "Citizens, I call all that are able to lend a hand to help our fair community. Enemies are trying to isolate and starve us out, but we will not allow them. For every hand that rises up and is willing to join the cause, I will pay 5 gold for the left ear of every bandit that harms our traders, that hounds our merchants. Go forth, find them, bring them back, and you shall be richly rewarded." And with this, the crowd begins to murmur, and people are very interested in the potential just purely from cash, but for our crew. Well, this may be a financial opportunity. That's not their primary motivation, but they're thinking of the woman they met, a merchant wife who has lost her husband. Perhaps he was a victim of these same people. And so this gives them a lead, at least something they can begin looking into. And so with that, they're going to go visit Renata, and they're going to bring some food to her. So we're going to pay a little bit. We'll bring her, some food from an ostrich as well. And so we'll bring that, and and some mead to her, and just bring gifts to reassure her, to comfort her, and let her know that we are going to be going out and traveling and looking to see if they can find her husband to the north. So that's going to be the hook of our next adventure, and we'll go ahead and start our journey now. Not sure how far we're going to get, but we're at least going to start making our travel into this hex, because if their bandits are active, it's going to be right here. So our group is going to reprovision up. We're going to need some more rations, and we haven't really, well, we have been using torches. We've set campfires, we've lit some pyres, so we're going to definitely need another gross of torches, probably about 6 more torches. We're going to need a couple more rations for each one of the individuals. And so we're going to spend some more gold there getting that done. But our guys are reprovisioned and they're going to be heading off. I was thinking maybe Naso is going to take off, do his own thing, but this is just such a clear charge that fell into our lap that he's definitely going to join us and we're going to go along with him. This is important for us. Ratha makes an oath. As an oath sworn, whatever oath he brings to bear, that's going to be a place where he gains advantage. And so he brings in to bear the oath. This is going to be hard because this could go against us, but he is going to bring the oath that he is going to find out what it is that has happened to this woman's husband. Whether it's finding his body, returning him safe, whatever it is, that is his oath. And so we're going to make a note there. And so anything that's in direct relation to that, that's going to be a place where he gains some advantage. So with that, the group takes off. They begin heading north, and we're going to check the weather before I forget again. It is an 8. That means it's heavily overcast, a heavy day. We're not traveling into a mist region, so that's not going to be too bad, but it is just heavily overcast. We begin heading into the hex, and let's take a look at what we're looking at here. 1526. It's a rocky and mountainous, hard terrain for travel, and the area has sheer winds. Difficult, so it takes twice as long to travel through this hex area. And so as our group is going to be going through, there are merchants who are just traveling along. And we'll assume, the mountains are kind of on one edge and they skirt here, which is dangerous. You've got the hills with the mist here, the mountains here. So the trade road kind of skirts out and along. Our group is going to travel along with the caravans, maybe linking on close by a merchant of some kind and maybe keep an eye out. And as they get farther north, before going into the city, maybe hooking back around and going a little more through the wilds, just really searching to see if they can find any sign of these bandits. And so we may have to play a little loose with whatever's going on here because we now have this new hook. So we'll just see what happens. So as we're going along, we have the opportunity for some interesting encounters along here. Oh, I see one here that might be helpful for us. That might be an interesting thing. So let's just see first if we pick this one up as an encounter. We do not. No direwolves, but it is risky, and so it's going to take us a considerable amount of time, 8 hours to travel through this hex. So that's just as we're traveling with the groups, 4 separate random encounters. So let's take a look at that. Our first one as we begin traveling, a 2. So overcast, some heavy winds, but we begin moving through the region here. Everything is quiet. The road is peaceful, just the creak of wheels and wagons lumping along. 2 more hours. Adventurer's luck hits again. There's our 1. So we get our first random encounter, and it is a 5. A sudden storm comes in. So a heavy storm begins to blow in. The sheer winds pick up. All of this drives in. And so many of the merchants have to figure out, are they going to push through or are they going to settle down and hope that this breaks and maybe find some shelter in the base of the mountainside? So we'll see what the caravan that we're real close to, what it's going to do. And we'll say Will they take shelter? That's the question. Will they take shelter? Yes or no? We don't know who this guy is. He doesn't. He is pushing through. And so since this guy is not pushing through, no and is a response. He's only pushing through. He's being a little reckless. He's driving very quickly as rains are coming in, storms are happening. And so he's just driving faster and faster. And so he's hoping to push through the hex before anything else happens. And so we'll check wrong die. We'll check for another random encounter as we keep traveling with this guy here. Oh my gosh, Adventurer's Luck is with us today. Another random encounter. What is it this time? A 4. Oh, okay. And so as we begin traveling along, we see a day-old abandoned campsite here. Maybe something worth looking at, but no, we're going to ignore this for right now. What we really care about is trying to find these bandits, trying any lead of them whatsoever. And so we're going to follow this guy. Want to make sure he at least makes it safe out. One more check. 4. And with that, we're going to come to the north end of this area. And as he begins to kind of exit out of the space, we're going to wave goodbye, exit away from him, and turn back around and see if we can begin to hunt and search through here in this region to see if we can find any other spaces. And so what we're going to do from this point forward is any random encounter that would give us anything besides 2 or 3, these other, let's say 4, because we really do want to find this lead. As we're traveling back, we'll be running into another bandit encounter at that point. And so that's kind of a modification we'll look at since we're on a very specific mission. But with that, our group has the opportunity to either actually turn back. Now I'm thinking about it. I got to sleep out in the wild. That's not a great idea. We're going to just haul our way into Strayana, and we'll make our way in there. This is where we started. And so that is at 1426 on the old map. Strayana is an actual city, smaller city, 2,600 people. It is the stronghold of Zoran Markov, the Iron Wolf. A lot of soldiers camped in this area. And so when we start back up with our next session, we'll be starting in Strayana and continuing our hunt for the bandits. All right, that's it for this session. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you like the new Downtime material. Be sure to go and take a look at it on Drive-Thru RPG and download it if you like. Please just leave a rating and review. If you haven't already, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for the continued support, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, adventurers.